Everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. Today is the day of the Qualifier play-in best of one. So this is a sealed deck event for an arena qualifier that would happen next weekend, which I believe is also sealed. It's a little bit unusual that it's all sealed. I've actually come to enjoy sealed more than I used to. So let's see what I get. Obviously it's March of the Machine sealed. I do like getting Chandra, Invasion of Fiora, and Gigantha. This can only put creatures into play, though, right? Yeah. Sadly, I've got two great even things, but they're not creatures. This is a pretty good selection of rares. I mean, with this set, if you don't get a good selection of rares in sealed, you're kind of doomed. This is the one that turns into a Valakut, kind of. It's a fine card. City on Fire, I haven't really made up my mind on that one. It's really good if you can get it into play, but it's one of those cards where it's great in your really good draws, but once you start talking about, like, if you have a below average draw, excluding the City on the Fire being part of the draw, just if you have a below average draw with the rest of your cards, it really makes City on Fire bad because it's so hard to get it into play at that point. Zephyr Singer is excellent. Show me the rest of my rares. Someday Arena might have the technology to show you all of your rares. So one of them is an Anafenza. And the other one was, another good one, Invasion of Tovada. So it's really just going to be a matter of what's my mana fixing like, because I would certainly like to... I've got great cards in black, great cards in red, great card in blue. I wonder if I could companion the it's not a Gigantha. What's it actually called? Geruda. That would mean giving up on the Invasion of Tovada. I'm gonna guess it's probably not going to be worth doing, but maybe. White doesn't look great. I have a Preening Champion, Artistic Refusal. I thought the name of this card was Arctic Refusal up until 10 seconds ago. This card, Corruption of Tawashi, can be good in some decks. It's a little bit clunky, but if you get the right deck for it, it's certainly worth it. Okay, removal in black. I mean, this card is expensive, but it's certainly worth playing in this format. I kind of like Render Inert. I don't know. It might wind up being a main deck card. 3 Nezumi Informants. That's kind of interesting. It's an okay card just on its own, and oftentimes you wind up just wanting to have random creatures in play in this format. Either to attack battles, defend battles, convoke with. It's a red guy going on. It's got the Chandra, Invasion of Kaldheim. Not too much outside of that. I do have a Furnace Rains, but it's really hard to just justify playing Furnace Rains in sealed because it's hard to get enough sack outlets. Green. So I have a red-blue land, and a green-black land. Also have Agar. So this works off of spells. So Chandra minusing doesn't trigger this, which is guess a little sad. This seems like one of those sealed pools where the good cards are spread out across a lot of colors. And I didn't get a Skittering Surveyor. I didn't even get any of like the second tier, like Urn of the Godfire, and that Flywheel Racer, whatever that little vehicle is called, that does kind of a bad job at mana fixing. So I guess one question is it actually worth it to play red? Chandra's very good. An Invasion of Kaldheim is fine, but I don't know that red's really offering anything outside of that. I'm certainly not going to be a Valduk theme deck. It could maybe be like a blue-black deck that splashes for Invasion of Talvada. Probably not these other gold cards. They're not that good. That does have the problem that I'm not getting any fixing at all. I get a decent amount of just card draw library manipulation, though. So what are the blue cards that I would actually play? Let's start with the black cards, actually. So I think I would play Drag Recycler, all these Informants, probably Render Inert. Certainly this and certainly that. This is like maybe, this isn't even the kind of removal you really want in Sealed. You want to play removal in Sealed, but you really want it to be removal that can kill bombs if it's going to be inefficient. This is not so good at doing that. I'd certainly play Gerudo, although we got a situation going on. Oh wait, it's not. I always forget that these card style. Is this a card style that's going to fix for me or not? I don't understand how Arena treats these things, but I would like to see this Gerudo or this Gerudo, not the Godzilla one. Still thinking about maybe I could companion this. If I try to companion this, obviously you can't play Render Nerd if you're going to do that. But I've got 6 cards there. And then in red, I would get like seven if I'm being generous. Yeah, we're companioning. That's not happening. So what are the blue cards I'm excited about? I don't know that I would say I'm excited about Eyes of Cataxis, but I think I'm going to wind up playing it. How good am I at Corruption of Tawashi? It's not just the incubators, remember, with this card. It's also stuff like Order of the Mirror. It's also battles. I'm going to have Invasion of Fiora and Invasion of Tovada in my deck probably, which I don't know that it's certainly not necessary to get a card when you transform these. It's a nice side benefit, I suppose. I think with this level of Nezumi Informants in my deck, I would play at least one Zhalfirin Statecraft. And given how bad the mana in this deck is going to be, I probably want to play Moment of Truth. Maybe only one. If I put these in my deck. How many creatures do I have at present? 9. 9 creatures plus, this is kind of a creature, 10. More like 12. Then obviously these things can sort of turn into creatures, but I'm not going to be that good at flipping them with this few creatures. This card. I think if I was going to pick a 2/3 to play, it would be this one actually. This doesn't look great. It really doesn't. Don't know that there's a better way to go though. Possibly want the Archivist. I've never put this card in my deck in this format. Reach is nice. I'm not going to play 2. No thank you on the second copy. I think I would just play a second Moment of Truth. Call this a deck. Certainly not a great deck, but not a hopeless deck either. What if I was trying to play more of a green deck? Gives me some cheaper stuff. I guess maybe the mistake is trying to play blue. So I could play certainly those guys, certainly that, probably that. I was about to say this is starting to look okay, but I just don't have it. I'm way short on spells. So this is 12 creatures. My options are don't splash Invasion of Telvada, which that kind of seems like a mistake. I guess one thing with this card is I don't have that much awesome stuff to bring back in either of these decks. I guess there's still plenty of green cards I could add to my deck. I don't hate this guy. I don't hate this card either, honestly. Probably don't want to play 3 copies because it's one of those cards where the more you add to your deck, the worse it gets, because every copy is just another miss for the other copies. But this certainly helps with mana fixing. Finds my best cards too, which is a pretty big deal to me. I could play like a Wary Thespian. Maybe I should play this card in this deck where I'm not trying to play like the clunky Corruption of Tawashi's. So just another expensive-ish card. This is also a pretty good target to get back with Invasion of Telvada, which is nice. Maybe I do something more like this. This deck certainly has, well, it has more removal than the blue one because it's got these Herbology Instructors and Cosmic Hunger. It's not a great Vat Keeper deck, but I don't... In order to get to a good Vat Keeper deck, I would have to be playing blue with the Corruption of Tawashi's. I am giving up Artistic Refusal, Zephyr Singer, and Preening Champion to do this. What am I getting? I'm getting better mana, basically. The Seed of Hope versus the Moment of Truth. Seed of Hope is a little bit better card, but they're pretty similar. Maybe I shouldn't have Icar's Shade in my deck right now. I think Wary Thespian's just a better card. I think I'm going to go with this. This just it just has more cheap plays and better cheap plays, which I think is good, especially given that this deck, even though my rares are pretty good, I feel like my uncommons and commons are adding almost nothing to the quality of my deck, or the quality of my pool. I got 1 Preening Champion. I didn't get like Invasion of Amonkhet or Invasion of Zendikar. Didn't get any Volcanic Spites. Yeah, let's play it like this. This guy does not line up well against having a bunch of Nozumi Informants. This is 6 mana to flip. 6 Endophyrexians. Whoa, we got 4 colors already. And a Flywheel Racer. They're really... They've got a lot going on over there. This card's good, though. It can just eat their pretty horrible permanents they put into play and give them hopefully better cards. Well, not hopefully from my perspective. That is Summoning Sickness. I'm excited about this trade. I'm not sure why the opponent wanted to make it. I'm going to double rat them this turn, because if I wait 2 more turns, I probably won't get any cards. Maybe if I waited 1 turn, I would still be able to get 2 cards. I don't think there's a reason to risk it. Whoa! White card alert. Ooh, they drew all 5 lands naturally. Oh man, and they have Invasion of Alara. Wow. Bravo, opponent, bravo. Oh no. They might actually manage to flip the Invasion of Alara now that they have Kite Sail on their side. Come on, planes off the top of my deck. No, Swamp doesn't really help me. I guess Swamp did sort of help me because of Herbology Instructor. I think I just want another card. I want to leave this back to block here because I don't want them to be able to just play a creature and then crew this thing and hit the Invasion of Alara for 4 for free. Didn't even notice that. I guess this is the other card they got off of Invasion of Alara. I know it's bad when this thing flips, but it does so much, it's hard to remember everything. They get a copy of a permanent they control. They can return an artifact card from... You can put an artifact from your hand onto the battlefield. That almost never matters. You get 3 +1/+1 counters, and they get to kill 1 of my permanents. So can they blow up my lands? Land destruction, wow. Alright, so they are getting to hit Invasion of Alara for 4 here. But they had to use mana to do it, so they're not getting to cast anything, probably. Probably doesn't matter. They only have 1 unknown card. They have Atraxas Fall to take this out, but that's fine. Wonder how many cards are in my opponent's deck. I think they're only playing 40. It's just... Wait, they've got 10 in play, is that right? Well, 10 in play and in hand. 8 in the yard, 21 in the deck. I just assumed that, oh, actually they had 11 in play because of the invasion of Alara. That is 40. I wonder how do you get to a 40 card 5-color deck with the Aki Scrap Chomper in your deck? That's the thing I'm not following. You draw 2 cards as well? I missed that part of that. Oh, it's the second sentence. All right. Backup Flywheel Racer. Sure. Always bring it back up. Come on, something good off of this Geruda. Not all that close to decking them, sadly. A Daxos. Not the worst. This is crew 1, yeah. Guess I'm in a little bit of trouble. This thing's 5-4 right now. Well, it becomes a 5-4 up to a 6-4. Flying. Every time this thing gets animated, it slows the game down to a crawl. I do not like that. Something's up. I don't know what it is. I would like the Flywheel Eraser to die, but I also don't want to expose the Geruda to whatever their plan is here. So I'm willing to give them Daxos plus both Nezumi Informants. Or I guess I could go after Herbology Instructor and 1 Nezumi Informant. That's fine. It's pretty good value out of the Nezumi Informants, honestly. I think that was a temporal... Wait, what just happened? I think that was something they chose not to cast. So they have 1 legend currently. So Invasion of Fiora doesn't help me immediately. Let's get this guy out of the way. I think I'm gonna still try to flip the Tolvada. I think if it flips, well, like it's gonna be impossible for me to lose. Whereas if I send both at their face, they chump 1 and I don't know, maybe something happens. Obviously, they can chump one here as well, but then I'm getting 4 damage on the invasion of Tovada instead of just putting them to 6, which I think is better. Okay, they didn't want to block. Maybe they got a plan. Maybe they don't. That's a good card. They have it. This is the red-white invasion? Wow. All invasions. I guess they're just going to cut down Gerudo probably. I do have some choices, but I think they're all worse than cut down Gerudo. To 13 in the card count battle. I'm going to hold this forest in my hand just because of Nizumi Informant. I definitely don't want to get my invasion of Fiora Nizumi Informanted. Not that I'm really expecting to have to cast Invasion of Fiora this game, but having the forest in play doesn't do anything for me at all, so it's a pretty easy decision. This poor Scrap Chomper, it's been in play since turn 1. And it hasn't gotten to sack anything yet. I guess the answer to why they have the Scrap Chomper in their deck is they have a lot of flywheel racers that they need to be able to crew. I suppose that's a thing. Definitely block that Scrap Chomper just to have it not be in play anymore. The name of this card is Malady Invoker. Nice. They didn't even crew one of the flywheel racers. Does that mean they're dead now? No. They jump and go to 2. I'm gonna catch this Invasion of Fiora. Kill legendaries, so I don't have to fight through this 4-power lifelinker. They're even gonna make it 5-power lifelinker. Must remember to pick legendary. Don't pick non-legendary. Destroy all legendary creatures is the goal. Legendary creatures. I was really concerned I was going to blow that one. That game felt like it took forever. I've started seeing people playing Seed of Hope in Historic with Jarsel, which I find kind of interesting. Do I want my 4th land or my Invasion of Talvada? I think I want Invasion of Talvada. We'll be optimistic that I'm going to find lands 4 and 5 over the course of a long game. It's kind of a greedy choice, but I have stuff to play, to stall, to get to my lands. Oh, I was going to say, I'm not going to block here because I want to back up the Dreg Recycler. So now I've got a 3/3 that can eat their Overgrown Pest and a Death Touch that can trade with their Blade Master. Also, I have 2 pretty good bodies to use with Cosmic Hunger. I think I'm going to play this just to use my mana. I'm beginning to become kind of suspicious that they might have some sort of sweeper in their hand because they're just straight up not doing anything. Which is definitely suspicious. I think I'm not even going to attack. All that untapped mana. I don't want to trade this with that thing. Yeah, there we go. As expected, something. Then I want to attack with the Pest. I'm just not going to block. I think on my turn, I'm just going to Cosmic Hunger the Coglin Yadaro and attack. Like an Invasion of Talvada back. Something next turn. Does that help me? Say it doesn't. I'm probably just going to have to bait them into animating all these tokens. Yuck. Not enjoying that. gonna shrink this token down to size. That kite sail is going to be a problem. Obviously, I'm going to get to sweep the board with Invasion of Fiora, but they're going to have... They're only getting one extra card off the Karuga, so they might not have anything all that devastating to play after the Invasion of Fiora. All right, we're getting an extra man thrown in. And I get the Surveil now from the failed conversion, which is nice. Don't want either of these. I think I need to do better. Like Render Inert is probably the best card in my deck to find. This one's pretty good too. Got a Portent Tracker or a Wary Thespian? I think I'll go with Wary Thespian. The fact that they had nothing there and then things went basically perfectly for me. It's pretty nice. I guess I'm still in a mild amount of danger because they're going to have a hasty flying threat, which I am going to render inert the Invasion of Tolvada, so I will have a lifelink flying blocker that they'll have to get around, which that's obviously going to be pretty hard for them to do. We'll go with all 5 of the counters this one time. That wasn't great for me. It's going to take a while to get through that Invasion of Fiora. With my Portent Tracker doing 1 a turn. Okay. This doesn't... Whoa. Am I dead? Maybe I should have blocked there, honestly. Takes out toughness. So, gaining 3 life, not nothing. Next turn I can use Marchesa to take the counters off the Historian and then finish it off, potentially. Doesn't this leave them dead on board? This is Menace, Death Touch. Easy game. Not really. Come on, don't whiff. I'll take planes. That counts as a don't whiff. Or as a not whiffing. Land there was fine. This draw's really starting to come together. Possible they have whatever the counter is called here. I think I want to maybe hold off on turning this incubator into a 2/2 because I have the Vat Keeper. Yeah, they did have the counter. It's kind of better to have played into the counter, and now the Vat Keeper is going to get to resolve, and if I want to, I can sink a bunch of mana into making this thing a 4/4 instead of a 2/2. I think I drew my Vat Keeper with all of my cards that make incubators. That's some good synergy. They'll probably trade their incubator with my Serpent Blade Assailant, which isn't great for me, but it means they can't double block this 4/4. It also means they're forced to spend their 2 mana. As opposed to if they had, something else they wanted to do with their mana potentially. And finally, it means that this Vat Keeper might be able to attack next turn. I didn't really want to trade the Vat Keeper with their 3/3 because I'm planning to turn this into a 4/4 as well. But next turn, if I make this a 4-4 and they have some way to block a 3-3 that isn't a horrible trade for me, I'll just trade this off. That's a problem. I did not enjoy that. Uran is really good in this format. Given that I drew the Invasion of Telvada, I think I'm willing to let them block with the Preening Champion and Elemental Token. This game's really been like the full-on March of the Machines limited experience where I felt like I've done really powerful things and I've had Portent Tracker with a land that taps for 2 mana for so many turns. My opponent's also done really powerful things. Like we're actually having a close game, even though we both had very strong draws, I would say. I don't really want to let this thing start getting active and converting their elemental tokens into 3/3, so I am going to send my 4/4 incubator at them, see if they animate and double block. Guess that changes things somewhat. No, they don't even have a good double block. Maybe should have played that pre-combat so I could have attacked it. I wasn't thinking about the fact that I have the Portent Tracker sitting around, so putting 4 damage on it is actually really threatening. Oh, that thing's pretty big. did this at sorcery speed on my turn because if they kill it in response, my guy doesn't get to be... I know, it does still get to double. There was no reason to do that at sorcery speed. So they found a card that's better than the Scornblade Berserker. It's probably a pretty good card. Like Cosmic Hungering. See that being not great for me. If they didn't have one card in their hand still, I would have played Invasion of Fiora that turn. I think I can afford to still slow play it. They're under pressure to do something to affect the board because eventually this Invasion of Tolvada will flip. And then things will start getting bad for them. So they're going to need to either play a removal spell, you know, play some bigger creature that allows them to start attacking. Maybe just attack with the Gloomfang Mauler. Another Halo Forger. Not ideal. But this is all part of my plan to bait them into doing something. Moment of Truth. I get Seed of Hope. I think they're going to Moment of Truth. I'm a little bit worried that they're just going to find a Nezumi Informant. But I wanted to play my land so I could play the Ancient and attack the, whatever the loyalty, what are they called? Defense counters? I needed to reduce a defense counter. Again, they put a good card in their graveyard. I guess the way their deck works, they want good cards in their graveyard instead of on the bottom of their deck. So maybe... But how many more Halo Forgers can they really have? Okay. That's probably going to be enough to prompt me to play my Invasion of Fiora. None of these are legends. It's a legend-free zone. Please don't have another Assimilate Evidence. What's it called? Assimilate Essence. brutal. Really brutal. If I just save the portent tracker, go after the invasion of Talvada, I could actually get ahead of these Halo Forgers. Halo Forager. Yeah, I think I got outplayed this game. It's not guaranteed that I'm gonna... Well, I think it's guaranteed I'm gonna lose now. My opponent mulled once. I'm going to help them out with an additional mull. And again, we'll get them again later. Whoa, why would you do that? I guess I can block the Nezumi informants. Oh, I see. Okay. I guess that answers why they did that. It's even hex-proof, so I can't. Cosmic Hunger it. It's just a 3/4 flying hex-proof that's going to be in play until I Invasion of Fiora it. Tough but fair. Or maybe not fair. Or maybe not tough. It's something. That's not what I meant to do. Regroup. I meant to use the Vat Keeper to make this a 4/4, and I was just not going to play the Streetwise Negotiator that turn. I was going to leave up Cosmic Hunger so I can go after one of these Herbology Instructors if they flood it, if they play a land and try to flip it. It's not good for me. Oh man, they can kill both my 4/4s too. It's really not good for me. I could have killed the Chandra, but instead I'm just going to alpha it.
Let's go out with a bang.
Or find something else to do. I guess sending this at their face didn't make any sense. I should have just picked the 2/2 that I wanted to keep around the most and just not attacked with it. Please save me, Gerudo. I have left in my deck. I still have my Invasion of Fiora and my Invasion of Telvada. Just going to be getting back at Gerudo this turn. I think their plan is to double block here. So I'm just going to alpha. They might be tempted now to go chump and eat the Negotiator. No. Please don't assimilate more of my essence. I had enough of that last match. It's amazing how much worse Gerudo is than Atali. Although, it worked out well enough here. We're coming in hot. Scryed top. That's ominous. Please don't whiff. Swamp would be great. Maybe find me a swamp. Please don't whiff. Didn't whiff. Do I want a cutthroat? Or my fourth land, which is a green land? I think I just want the informant. There's the swamp I was looking for. I definitely wanted to play one of my black cards that last turn because I only have one black. This is guaranteeing I can play 2 spells on turn 4. And between the Recycler and the Informant, just there's no... Getting the Informant in early doesn't really benefit you at all. It's just a smaller creature. Up until the point where they might not have cards left in their hand, it doesn't really matter. So we'll get them now. Got a real card, that's nice. Hopefully this Renata doesn't go too crazy. Either I draw a second black land, or I get to Herbology Instructor the Renata. Being invaded by Muraganda. I think they're not going to have an attack though, right? I'm going to fight the Herbology Instructor. I guess I can trade the Blade Master with the Dreg Recycler if they want. I definitely did not want to sack to the Dreg Recycler there. Because I wouldn't be able to block like this. Now they are going to be able to send the Blade Master at the invasion of Muruganda. I can't really do anything about that. So I'm probably going to have to play Invasion of Fiora. Invasion of Fiora next turn. Maybe not. Maybe we can wait one more turn. They have to have at least some spells in their hand because 2 turns ago I ratted them and they discarded a Timberland Ancient. So probably at least one of these cards is a spell. I like Total's high enough. I'm going to take it because I don't want to be in a spot where I just absolutely have to play Invasion of Fiora. On my turn. Also, if I just chump there, it's going to be very suspicious for the opponent. I was planning on doing this anyway, assuming that I got to deal the damage. Hopefully they don't have Angelic Intervention. Okay, they do. That's fine, though. I'm just getting cards out of their hand in preparation for this Invasion of Fiora at this point. Please play a creature. A little bit sad. The fact that they both didn't play a creature and I drew yet another land on my turn makes this a lot less devastating than I was hoping for. Come on, Gerudo off the top. Well, they don't have anything. So maybe this 1/1 is enough. That was a pretty nice draw. They're either sitting on cards of a different color, or they just have all combat trick kind of things. Cosmic Hunger. Yeah, I think I do. Probably Cosmic Hunger is going to be good unless they kill the Wary Thespian, and if they kill the Wary Thespian, I'm going to surveil it into the graveyard. There is obviously the problem that now I've drawn it, and they might kill the Wary Thespian now. But they still don't have anything, so Cosmic Hunger can still eventually be good. Also, if the Marchesa flips, the Cosmic Hunger is going to be quite nice. A little bit worried that they have Sunfall. But I'm going to attempt to win. Even if they have Sunfall here, I have Invasion of Tavada and Gerudo in my deck still, so I wouldn't be completely dead. I'm going to hold this thing back, though, against the sweeper. I want to do this now so the effect ends before it begins. Otherwise, if I killed this, it would come back as an Invasion of Fiora, which is not what I want. All right. They've got something. You're gonna need something else. A Moloch. That wasn't enough. The concept of a wary thespian is confusing to me. Isn't a thespian like an actor? What would they be wary of? Oh, and swamp. Just don't miss, don't miss, don't miss. Yeah. I guess I want my 4th land. If I don't take my 4th land, I'm kind of saying that I'm planning to cycle this, which I think I'd rather just take the land over the rat and not commit to cycling this. Now I might want to cycle it if I'm going to be able to Invasion of Telvada it back. Okay. Don't mind that. My 2-drop trades for one of their better removal spells. One thing I've learned is that you can back up onto your opponent's creatures. I had a deck with Hirobi of Death's Whale and just a whole bunch of backup creatures, and that was my only removal. It actually works surprisingly well. This all seems to be going fine. I'm not going to trade. I'm going to wait to animate this before I trade. That's the second time I've done this at this draft. Alright, they have an Angelic Intervention in their hand, almost definitely, but I can play it. No? That was just a suicide attack? If I didn't... Well, I guess that's misclicking. I don't know. Whatever I did, it was bad. I think I only have 1 or 2 more rounds left with this deck. How many more times can I screw up with the Vat Keeper? That doesn't seem right. You didn't want to convoke at all? Ideally, they double block here. I get to Invasion of Telvada, the thing back. Yeah. I think that's better than burning this removal spell. This is a really good removal spell, so it'll be nice to potentially save it for a higher priority target rather than just getting like a 2-for-1. Especially because if I take the 2-for-1 there, I'm not even getting to play the Invasion of Telvada, and that's a really nice turn to get to play it. If they flip this, they are going to force me to Merciless repurposing it. Which I'll wait to do that until they block, so they don't throw the Knight Errant of Eos in, potentially, the block to prevent this from flipping for another turn. They are doing that. Interesting. Okay. They're going to need something really special to save them at this point. Maybe like Sunfall? Like Hellish Norn, something like that. Hellish Norn would probably win in the game if they drew it here. You got a 1-turn window. Another turn 1 Seed of Hope. We haven't whiffed yet. It would be brutal to have gotten this far, only to whiff now. Please don't whiff, please don't whiff. We didn't whiff. I am revealing to them that there's a pretty good one coming for them eventually. Maybe they'll Nezumi Informant me, and I can discard this to set up the surprise where it returns via Invasion of Talvada. I have drawn the Vat Keeper again. Please kill the Vat Keeper so I can't screw it up. Thank you. Probably I'll get it back and screw it up. We all know that's what's going to happen, but at least while it's in the graveyard, I can't screw it up immediately. That's a Vat Keeper face-off. I know the ways of the Vat Keeper. I know that they can misclick and make this into a 2/2, but they cannot make it into a 4/4 right now. Go for some white mana off the top. Is that good? That's pretty good, I think. I'm going to keep it. It's not going to be an untapped land, meaning I won't be able to Herbology Instructor immediately. But it digs me to a land. Like, to a white land specifically. Which is pretty nice. Being invaded. Or if they're invading an Ogroth. I don't understand how these cards work. Are they... Is this telling me where I'm being invaded from, or where my opponent is trying to invade? It's confusing. Well, I'm Blighted Burgeoning off the top. More instructions in the way of Herbology. That Blighted Burgeoning, or that Plains. I don't have very many ways in my deck left to cast the Invasion of Talvada. I guess I'm going to trade. I want to force them to commit the Vat Keeper to the board before I play the Invasion of Fiora, I think. Like if I don't do this trade here, if I let them just flip it, then I guess I could Cosmic Hunger this. I think I preferred this setup. Cards I have left. I have 18, they have 21. So the Gerudo is a good draw, but I will deck first, and it does seem like this game's going to last a while still. Having this thing be revealed to them since the start of the game has definitely warped the way the game has gone substantially. Did Render Inert get milled? No, that would be a really good draw. That's unfortunate. I don't think there was a way for me to have played where I could have held the land for that. I mean, I could have held the plains. Oh, no. No. Now we really need Render Inert. Dude, whatever that 6-mana removal spell is still in my deck too. And my Death Touch guy. So I'm drawing to a reasonable number of good draws. I'm gonna let this thing hit me. Animate this thing. I can afford to have this thing hit me twice, realistically. So I don't need to play the failed conversion on my turn there just to dig. This would be a bad game to misclick with that thing yet again. Should I care more about the Tolvada or the Fiora? Probably the Tolvada. These are some good cards. If they don't have something good this turn, I'm in really good shape. They have something crazy like a Traxxas fall would be very painful for me. It's just like the black removal spell. That's not that big of a deal. My plan, if they attack with the Imperiosaurs, I'm going to block with the Vat Keeper and the 5/4. Okay. Doesn't this... Oh, they're just trying to flip it? What? Okay. I guess they also got the prowess trigger on that guy. This was strange. Should I just let them flip it at this point? I don't know what they could have that made this a good play, but I'm going to find out. Nothing doesn't seem like the right answer there as to what would have made that a good attack. I can just let them get Marchesa, and then I'm going to Merciless repurposing it. Maybe I shouldn't let them just hit me with the Rampaging Raptor. What a strange game this has been. Okay. Glad I left this thing back. The way I played is bad if they have a second sweeper, but if they just have a removal spell, I think it's way better to just have some more blockers, because I have used enough parts of my deck, enough of the cards in my deck that are good removal spells, so it's pretty bad if I let this flip at this point. To the skies, I say. I'm probably gonna have enough life that even if they somehow manage to get some of this stuff, even if they prevent me from killing them with the flyers, I can conceivably play to just deck them with Gerudo. I have just enough cards left in my deck that can happen. They need a good card on their turn. This card's really hard to beat once it flips. That doesn't count as a really good card. I want to keep 4 flying attackers just so I have lethal through a removal spell. Ooh. An informant of my own. What was it you were holding this whole time? Tell me. Show me. Let me know. What was it? It was a swamp. It was a swamp all along. That was a good game. I think they really... I don't know why they played their Invasion of Fiora the way they did. That was where things really went wrong for them. Maybe they just straight up misclicked and dragged the wrong card out of their hand. That's a possible explanation. All right, so that was... I made it through on my first attempt, which is nice. And this will be for the qualifier that will be in like about a week. So I'll make a video with whatever my day 1 performance is for that. So you got that to look forward to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you before then, but I'll also see you then.